Hello Universe, what's up? It's Brandy619 and I just want to touch bases real quick, and I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys remember the Sherri Panini case? This CARLEE Russell and Sherri Panini case to me have some similarities. Now the reason why I say this is because the boyfriend states that she was fighting for her life for the last 48 hours. And that kind of, I don't know why that jumped out to me, but, well, I'll tell you why. Because Sherri Panini, she faked her abduction. And I think she was gone for like 2 weeks or something. Everybody looking for her, manpower, all different kinds of stuff. And she allegedly escapes her captors, which were two Mexican women of some sort. They had her in this house, or they beat her up or whatever. She had bruises and bumps and all different kinds of things. But when they did a DNA swab on her, and she had a very elaborate story, but they did a DNA swab on her, and when the DNA came back, it was confirmed that it was her ex-boyfriend's DNA. And then they spoke to the ex-boyfriend, and he ended up spilling the beans and telling them how she got the cuts on her nose and the abrasions and all these different things were inflicted by the two of them to make it look a certain kind of way. The same way this young lady car pulls up along the side of the road. She's already on the shoulder with the hazard lights on, and she continues to drive up and drive up and drive up. Now once you see a child in her headlights or in the headlights of any of the other cars that are passing by, she gets out her car, she walks around the front, she goes into the car from the other side, she opens the door on the other side, she leans into the car, she comes out of the door, closes the door, and then walks off into the bushes. Leaves the car running, everything. Leaves her phone, takes her watch off. Okay, who takes their watch off? Takes their watch off, leaves it. AirPods, leaves it. Wig comes off. I really think that somebody, when she was pulling up, I think she was looking for that marker, that 435, whatever that little marker is, that little sign. I think she was looking for that to stop there specifically so that she could get out and she could walk through those trees and bushes and brush to the other side over there where that residential area is at. I believe that there was someone over there waiting for her. Why all of this, and why all the extras, I'm not completely sure, but I will say that I'm a professional driver, and when I looked at that video, I saw lots of box trucks, work trucks driving by there. We are trained to be looking and always be scanning and getting the big picture. What we definitely would have seen was a child on the side of the road, especially wearing a white shirt, a white diaper, and it being a white child. That would stand out in the wee hours of the morning or the night, because white stands out and reflects against the headlights, you know what I'm saying? And it's easy to see in the dark. So again, like I was saying, as a professional driver, when you're out there in one of those box trucks or a bus or an 18-wheeler or something like that, we typically get to see, we can see way further ahead than a regular car, a sedan, a regular truck, okay? Because we're sitting high and we can see pretty far down the road, and we're constantly scanning the area, making sure that, listen, if a box truck driver is driving and he's not vigilant on what's happening or what's coming out of those bushes, or especially paying close attention to the shoulder where there's lots of trees, because you never know if a dog gonna come out, a moose, a coyote, or whatever, and that could be detrimental to a professional driver's life. Okay, if he has to swerve or do something super crazy, so he's always watching. He needs to know when to slow down, when to make adjustments, and to give himself room to make adjustments. Okay, so that's one of the things that professional driver is always doing, is checking and scanning and getting a big picture, and he's always keeping his eyes moving, or she is always keeping her eyes moving. So I literally doubt, especially as far as it took for her to drive up before she actually stopped, that there was a toddler on the shoulder. I'm not buying it. Now, another thing that I want to say is that, mind you guys, remember they had a location where her phone pinged, and or something of hers, GPS for her, pinged, and it was not on the highway. It was on the other side of those trees and those bushes over there on the residential street. That is where they picked up a ping or location for her. Now, just this weekend, my son lost his phone, and I went into the app and to find his phone. And when I tell you that the exact location that GPS gave me for where my son's phone is at, I even pulled it up in the apartments. It was in the courtyard. It showed me exactly, it showed me where the pool is at. It showed me, and I knew the layout of the apartments, and it showed me exactly where that phone was at. And when I pushed the thing for it to make the sound so that he could find it, it was right there in the bushes where the ping said it was. Exactly right there. Exactly. Okay? So, look. You know, the mom said that the people told her the reason why it pinged over there is because that's, I guess, like the closest address or area that it could get. That's not true. That's not true at all. But if that's what they told her, whatever. Now, the other thing I want to say is, there's a lot of people out here that are really kind of going in. The black community is kind of divided about this. You got some people who are saying, oh, you know, the black woman, you always want to say that something that she do is not true, or you always want to downplay her, or, you know, we want to give her the benefit of the doubt and all of that. Well, listen, this is the thing. You know, black people scrutinize their own, and we rally for our own. White people do the same for their people. Mexicans for their, any other race for them. We tend to be more critical of your own race because it's your race, and you know that race's temperament, you know how they move, you know how they think, you know, because you are that, you know what I mean? The thing about this one right here is that most of all of us had drank the Kool-Aid initially, okay, until the inconsistencies started popping up. And so if you think that the inconsistencies that are going on in this case, that we not going to scrutinize them, and now we not all going to start thinking and letting our intuition tell us, you know, what may or may not be so based off of the evidence and the truth of what we do have. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. You guys are saying, well, the police is not making a statement, the family is not making a statement. Let me tell you something. The police has made a statement. They have made a statement. They have made a statement that is bigger than anything that they could ever say. When you guys said, well, they released the video, but they haven't released the 911 call. The police needs to make a statement. They made a statement. And the statement that they made was releasing that video for us to see that there was no child there. That she got out that car, walked around, went into the passenger side of her car, and then closed the door and then left down off into the bushes. That is exactly what they wanted you to see. That is the statement that they're making without ever having to say, oh, this may be a hoax, or oh, we're not sure if this really is what it is, because she did just get back. So they're going to give her time to sit with her family, think this through, think of what she's going to say, what she's going to come up with, what she's going to tell them. But trust me, they will be investigating, and they will be asking her those hard questions. And there will be, somebody's going to come out and say something. Even if it's, well, there is no evidence, we didn't find any evidence, whatever, but there's going to be something. Just give it time. What they doing is they letting her sit and stew and letting her, gather her thoughts. And then they're going to come back and they're going to touch it and they're going to start scrutinizing and going all the way down. And the thing about it is that, was there really a crime committed? She called and said that there was a toddler on the side of the road. The only thing I could think is that, I won't even say filing a false claim or something like that. I mean, she called 911 for this. There was no evidence of a child being there, but it wasn't like she called and said that it wasn't like she said that she was kidnapped. We speculated that because they said that she was on the phone and the sister was on the phone. They heard her. She asked, "Are you okay?" or whatever. Didn't hear a child, but then they heard a scream. So the kidnapping part is all stuff that we've made up because we don't know exactly what happened to her. But she never made a claim that she was kidnapped. Now, the boyfriend makes the statement she's fighting for her life for the past 48 hours. Now, maybe that's something that she told them. But this is another thing. She left her cell phone and she left, I don't know if she had a flashlight with her, but when she went down off into them trees like that, if she does have any scrapes or scratches or bumps or bruises or something like that, that very well could have come from trying to navigate through that little mini forest with no flashlight, no light, no way to be able to see, bumping, hitting in the branches and things like that. So, again, I don't know exactly. I'm not going to say that she, this is what I'm going to say. What I am going to say is that there's more to this that meets the eye, and that there very well may be another player involved. Again, she got home by foot. Now, if it's true that she made a call and said that she was at the Red Rooster, the Red Robin, or the Red, whatever the place is, the hotel, and if she made that call, well, where did she make the call from? Did she make a call from a telephone inside of a hotel room? Or, where did she make the call from? Because if I was being held captive somewhere inside of a hotel, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to call down to the office and tell them to call the police. Because that way they know exactly which room I'm calling from. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know if that's true or not. They say family members went down there 6 cars deep to go look and see, and all of a sudden she ends up at the house and she got there on foot. Well, did she have shoes on or not? Did she have clothing on or not? Was she, was she dropped off? She had, come on. Ain't nobody kidnapper gonna be like, you know what? I'm cool on all this. I don't make a mistake. Let me drop you off. But the last thing you're gonna do is tell them where you live at, or anywhere in the vicinity of where you live at, for them to drop you off at. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be like, nah, just take me to the Circle K. Like, I ain't even tripping. So, you guys, listen, you have to use your common sense, okay? If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, then it's a duck. If it don't, then it ain't. You know what I'm saying? And so right now, they want their privacy. They can have their privacy. I don't really think that I think that speaks volumes in itself too. In and of itself too. Because they know they about to have to ask this girl, and she about to have to come up, and they know when she lying and and they're just gonna want to know why she did this. And that's really what they're gonna be working on right now, is the why she did this. What was it all about? Literally what happened is this whole thing snowballed and into something that she didn't expect. And now she's gonna have to answer for why that was the route she chose to take. But again, Sherri Panini did something very similar, and they found her on the side of the road or something, like she had been tied or something like that. But she had also had self-inflicted wounds that her and the ex-boyfriend had put on her own body to make it appear as if she had really been held captive, when really she was just laid up over there with the ex-boyfriend, while her husband was sitting looking for her all around the world. Okay, so if y'all don't know, I'm gonna put that because it was crazy. The Sherri Panini story popped up on my timeline like 4 days ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and I was like, why is this here? But I actually sat and took the time to watch it and listen to it. I watched her sit in that chair. I watched her give this whole elaborate story. I watched her then I watched her inside of the police station, and when the police came back and said, listen, Sherri, do you want us to have this talk with you by yourself, or would you like us to have your husband be removed? And she started telling him, I don't want the women to be arrested, she saved my life, and and they like, listen, okay, we done playing with you. We know that you were not held captive by no Mexicans. We know you were with your ex-boyfriend. Another thing is, but this goes back to what I was saying about, was there actual crime committed? Would they even get a search warrant for her phone or her text message or anything like that? Because there actually was no crime committed, and she was an adult, so she could leave if she wants to or disappear if she wants to. The family reported her missing, and they did go look for her because she had called the police about a toddler, but nothing else though. So really, was there a crime committed where they would need to go into her telephone records to figure all this out? You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. Like, we may never know. We may truly never really know. Just like the Rudy Farias case. We really don't know. We don't know if he really was. I mean, he was free to leave that whole time. But, he was there, whether you want to call it Stockholm Syndrome or not. We don't know right now if he's still playing the game right now to get monies and help and different kind of things like that. Was there an actual crime committed? You know what I'm saying? When he says that he was free to leave and he was going hanging out with the neighbors and doing all different kinds of stuff because they didn't report and tell the police that he had came back the same night or 2 days later. Like, was there really a crime committed? Well, yeah, I guess if they were taking money and GoFundMe money and everybody's pretending, but I've seen where he had been in contact with the police before. He had been pulled over. He had just all these little different things where, what's the truth? Right now with AI and smoke and mirrors and all this stuff, nobody knows what the truth is right now. So really, it's left up to us to lean to our own understanding, but we are going to lean to our own understanding based off of the facts that we do have, which is the video that we saw, which is why she would take her watch off and leave it there. How she just shows back up at her house on foot, like she walked there. Like, why not once did she call the actual police or go to a well-lit place or 7-Eleven or Circle K or flag some cars down, or, you know what I'm saying? All these things, like, that just don't make sense and don't add up if you were taken against your will. But again, that's just us speculating because she never said that. So anyway, though, I'm gonna put the link to the Sherri Panini case in there. But I hope y'all have a good afternoon, a good evening, and at this point, I'm just like, come clean, dirty. You know what I'm saying? Just come clean, baby. For real.